Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to Absolute Territory. It is by Dan Ivy Woods and published by Digitum Software. This is a demo that is freely available out on Steam right now, so you can go take a look at it yourself. I believe the game itself is scheduled to come out in some form, probably early access, I imagine, this year, but don't have any other dates beyond that. They are definitely going for the Wing Commander aesthetic. Their image on Steam evokes the box art of the original Wing Commander game, much like a game that I played many moons ago on the channel, called Ethereum. I believe I played it back in 2015. It was that long ago, which was also doing something very similar to this. This one you can actually use the mouse and keyboard for. I'm going to use that just for the sake of argument. I was playing around a little bit in the simulator just to get a feel for it. Controls are a little bit rough right now. But we'll see what we can do in the campaign. So without further ado, let's see if it'll let me do it. Campaign. Tutorials. Can I do just Absolute Territory? That sounds good. Mission. Home party. We'll do medium, I guess. And launch. Welcome to Bold Peace Pilot. Transgressors have been identified as the Endophora, specifically the Order of Linnaeus, have laid claim to Bold Peace, located within Imperial territory, citing articles of contention. The Galactic Council are willing to uphold the claim based upon grounds of non-contention on our part. We are resolved to take immediate action towards dissolving the legality of this claim and maintain our absolute territory. Our first steps are to scout the border section of Bold Peace and determine the Order of Linnaeus' strength and depth of incursion. Your first assignment is to scout the border section and report back on hostile contacts. While other pilots have been coordinated to cover the full length of the border, you will be flying solo. We anticipate enemy presence to be minimal at the border. Got the border section of Bold Peace by following the designated nav point route to determine enemy strength. Follow any designated nav points. Eliminate any members of the Order of Linnaeus encountered. Okay. Within 200 meters of the indicated nav point, then use your autopilot. You can see the controls there: steer left, right, steer up and down. With the mouse, increase throttle, decrease throttle. You can actually increase and decrease throttle with the mouse wheel as well. And tab is afterburner. So autopilot is you. Okay. It's E to target the enemies. And of course you shoot them with left mouse, and right mouse fires a missile. In this case, Imrex. Okay. Whoa! Whoa there. Down. Yeah, the mouse is a little bit, I mean, it's a little bit extra sensitive. I mean, the controls that is. Also, the AI is set up such that it's basically it's doing this whole just fly in and fly right back out again kind of thing, and flipping around and just keep shooting you. So it's very basic AI. So that can be a little bit frustrating at times too. Let me put that on so I don't spin the mouse wheel quite as easily as I've been doing. Oh, where's our nav point? I'm gonna be within 200 to autopilot. There's also, it looks like power distribution there, but I don't know how to do any of that yet. Return to base for debriefing. As expected, enemy presence was light within your designated section of the border. We are in the process of analyzing your flight log and sensor data of enemy flight paths to identify potential enemy strongholds and staging areas. Once the data has been fully analyzed, we'll begin preparations for evicting the Order of Linnaeus from our territory, and I eliminated 3 hostiles. With all dispatched scouting parties returned and the analysis of sensor data completed, we have determined the Order of Linnaeus has a larger presence in the region than initially predicted. Intelligence suggests the Order must have traversed via the Hades Nebula as a point of access to Bold Peace. It is currently unknown how they have done so undetected, bypassing the Imperial detection network at the bordering sector. We have detected several targets of opportunity. Over the next 32 hours, we will be launching several coordinated strikes against or towards reestablishing a foothold between the border of Imperial territory and Bold Peace. Each of these strikes are imperative towards establishing a staging area for Imperial forces and disrupting the Order's movements in the immediate area. Sensor data and comm traffic suggest enemy presence will be much lighter for your strike target, and Imperial Command has determined the redeployment of assets to more demanding strike targets will increase the chances of an overall operational success. As such, you'll be expected to complete this mission without additional support. Your strike target will be a supply depot belonging to the Order. Intelligence has determined minimal traffic movement in the area and therefore lightly guarded. I would expect you to encounter at least 1 enemy transport vessel along with a light escort consisting of Drosophila medium fighters. Consider any transports as a secondary objective. It is more important than the supply depot is destroyed. Okay. Destroy all the crates at the supply depot. Got it. Alright. Use autopilot. We should switch back to this so that it spins freely here. Okay. Vomitoria. That's an interesting name. Got him. Alright, oh, he's got the autopilot there too. What is... I don't know what the yellow thing is on my... Is that... Oh, is that probably... It's probably the depot? Maybe? There's a lot of guys here. Are they all... A whole bunch of them... A whole bunch of them just jumped out. Oh, okay. Yeah, not having this power to this... These guns draw power so quickly. He's down. Damn. Banging right into me. That's how rudimentary the AI is right now. Is that it just kind of turns... It pulls a Wing Commander Privateer where it just spins around and just rams you. Luckily, it doesn't seem to do any damage when it rams you. Seems like I can target these though. A little bit of an issue. Trying to hit that one way down there, but I gotta get closer. There we go. Alright, so now we can autopilot again. With the destruction of the supply depot, you have struck a blow to the Order's plans in the area. The operation is still active as several Imperial forces have encountered stronger defense infrastructures. In the meantime, we have another assignment for you. Okay. Successfully destroyed the supply depot, eliminated 4 hostiles. We're tracking the 2 Order transports that vacated the depot you destroyed. Assets have been deployed to eliminate 1 on the transports while you will dispose of the second. Eliminate transport, eliminate any accompanying fighter wings. Okay. Okay. These Autopilot. Locate the transport's hyperspace exit points. Oh, he's got some big guns on him. Behind me though. Oof. Armor's not doing great here. Got him. Got him. What happened to the other guy? Did I destroy him? I guess I destroyed him? I mean, I had his hull down to almost nothing. Did my missiles just go and track him or something? Apparently. With both transports destroyed and completion of the initial operation, we have significantly disrupted the Order of Linnaeus supply chain, halted their expansion deeper into Imperial territory. Okay. Alright, well that's all we got of the campaign then. You can kind of get an idea of what's going on there. With that. Is that the this opportunity knocks the, so it was just the three things, right? Chase, Yelling Party. I assume that was the 3 missions we just did. And not like another set of missions. But yeah, I mean, this gives you a good idea of what's going on with the game. It's got kind of a freelancer feel to it. The controls are okay. They're a little bit sensitive. And I guess you can probably modify that, right? Yeah, you can kind of modify that a little bit. It's, I don't know how much, I mean, it's at 3 right now, which is like pretty low, and yet it's still flying you all over the place. There's a little bit of that. I think really the biggest what do I want to say? The biggest stepping stone they need to do right now, I think, is to get their AI worked out, because the ships have, you know, as someone who's played a lot of these games, like, I can tell you the ships are just kind of behaving in just one pattern, which is fly in, you know, fly straight at you, shooting, spin around real fast, you know, fly away, and then spin around real fast and come back to you shooting. You know, it's just, that's the part of the game that really, that's what sets a game that's fun to play apart from something that is just kind of a chore. And right now the game is kind of a chore to play, right? Because it's like the AI just has dead aim, is a dead shot aim almost. They just come in firing full blast, and then they fly by, and then you spin around. By the time you spin around, they've already spun around. They're flying right back at you again, and it's just like, nah. The AI needs to have some flaws and stuff to be, some manufactured flaws, let's say, to make it less of a chore and more of a fun dogfight. You know what I mean? When you get into games like this, you really want the dogfights to be fun. And right now, I wouldn't say the dogfights are all that much fun. Because again, there's just one pattern that the AI just keeps doing over and over and over again. It's not like a fun dogfight is one where you can actually get behind the AI and stay on their tail, and while you're blasting away at their tail, another one comes flying in and tries to get on your tail. You know what I mean? Like, that's the amount of time that you spend chasing down the AI, as in, being on their tail or trying to maneuver yourself to get on their tail, determines really how much fun it's going to be, I think, personally. And if you can get on an AI's tail and stay on it through some, standard maneuvers, you'll have a game that feels a lot more fun to play. Any of the free space mods you play, even if you play Free Space 2 Open, that I understand is pretty good. I've played on the Free Space 2 Open engine. There's a mod called Wing Commander Saga. That game, the combat in that game felt good, right? Because the AI would mess up a little bit, and you could get behind them and start blasting away at them. But you also had to make sure your flanks were protected and everything else. Of course, you were in a wing of ships. You weren't just solo and all that stuff. And it's kind of the same thing with this. Free Space is a good one to look at too. See how the AI behaves there, and be able to sort of emulate that. And I feel like too, the one thing that, as far as movement is concerned, Free Space had a thing where, Free Space is kind of the gold standard. Not Free Space. Freelancer. Freelancer is kind of the gold standard for mouse control, third-person mouse control of a space fighter, because it felt super good and super precise. It never felt like you were overcorrecting. It was very hard to this one, it's like you're constantly overcorrecting. You're just going slightly beyond, and then you're coming back, and you're going slightly back this way. You know what I mean? And that's the thing you gotta sort of capture if you really want to have a good, fun dogfighting game. And also, don't be afraid to borrow a few ideas. Like something as small as having the little mouse trail. Like as you go further away from the center, it has little arrows that point out from it. Even having something like that, it seems like a subtle thing, but it actually gives you a visual reference of how much you're correcting your ship. You know what I mean? You're not constantly trying to judge, am I pulling the mouse too far over to the right? Am I pulling it too slightly to the right? Am I not going fast enough? You know what I mean? And then also constrain it to a box, and say this is as far as you can go. And once you get to this point, this is, this is the maximum turn rate for your fighter ship. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, little things like that, all help to kind of make it feel cohesive and feel good, to play with. But I mean, this is an early demo, so I'm not expecting the world from it. I'm just trying to give sort of a little bit of feedback that I can give here and there on it. Definitely going to need a lot more enemy variety. I like the freighter that they had there. It reminded me a little bit of Wing Commander. It was a little bit like Wing Commander: The Secret Missions, where you went after the like the tankers in that game. Looked a little bit like that. Even like the final boss, the Savar ship, looked a little bit like that tanker, or like that freighter there. So I kind of like where they're going with that. Yeah, I mean, you got the basics. The basics are here. So it's good to see. It's not even, it's 0.9. It's not even, you know, it's still got a ways to go before it can be something out on Steam. And I assume it's going to be going out to like an early access or something. I would hope it would, because it's still got a ways to go with a few other things here. I mean, you know, the simulator was pretty good, but again, the simulator was kind of, simulator really that I played off camera really highlights the AI problem, because it's a waves. You're just fighting waves of enemies, and when you get 3 or 4, like when you get 3 enemies on the screen, like they're all doing exactly the same thing, and it ends up being annoying more than fun. You know what I mean? So just stuff like that. But anyway, good start. Very good start. I definitely have this on my radar now, and I am very curious to see what comes of it. So I'll definitely be revisiting this once it cooks a little bit more. But this, my friends, has been Absolute Territory. It is Absolute Territory to Space Combat Simulator. It is by Dan Ivy Woods and published by Digitum Software. You can go play this demo for free. And then there's also a link on that page to go wishlist the main game on Steam. I would suggest both, honestly. But, you know, obviously go play it for yourself and see what you like. As always, I will leave links down in the description so you can do your own due diligence. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.